couple were inside the hut sleeping. They had been married for a while, but the wife has not been able to get pregnant. They had always wanted a child, and the wife had often prayed for one. When she heard the baby cry, she quickly woke her husband and they stepped out, wondering who could be so heartless to abandon a baby in the rain. They walked around searching for anyone who might have left the baby, but there was no one in sight. They decided to help the baby, planning to ask around the village the next morning. As they carried the baby inside, the baby transformed into a strange girl. Fear gripped the couples. Before they could scream, the strange girl killed them and left. She was going from one hut to another, crying like a baby and killing the villagers who offered to help. The next morning, the village of Obago was never the same. People were dead. Not one, not two, but many. Villagers were running from hut to hut, checking their relatives and friends. Several families were found dead inside their hut. At the palace, the king sat on his throne, very angry, looking at the elders seated before him. Amadi, the eldest among them, broke the silence. "My king, I have lived many years, but I have never seen anything like this. How can so many people die in one night? No blood, not even a single scratch on their bodies, and no door was broken. I want warriors all over the village every night. Henceforth, nobody in this village is allowed outside at night. We must do everything to protect our people. The warriors will watch closely. Soon, we will catch whoever or whatever that is behind this." The meeting ended and the news spread through the village. That night, the villagers were very scared. No one could sleep and no one came outside. They all stayed awake and vigilant, while the warriors scattered across the village. They stood in groups, watching and waiting. They had been assigned to keep watch, to catch whoever or whatever was behind the mysterious death that had hit the village. Moments later, the baby cry began. The warriors turned sharply, holding their weapons tightly. "Who is that?" one of the warriors asked. "It is just a baby, probably hungry. But this is not good. If the baby keeps crying, we won't hear when an enemy approaches. Let's go and tell the mother to breastfeed the child. She should keep the baby quiet so we can listen for any sign of danger." They all agreed and they followed the sound of the cry. As they got closer, they looked confused. The cry wasn't coming from inside a hut. It was coming from outside. When they found the baby, Okonkwo stepped forward and knocked on the wooden door of the hut. "We are the warriors of Obago. Who owns this baby? Who abandoned this baby here?" A few seconds passed before a voice answered from inside. "We don't know. We just heard the baby crying." "We can't leave this child here," Okonkwo finally said. "So what do we do?" "Let's take the baby to the palace. In the morning, the king will know what to do." Okonkwo carried the baby and they returned to the palace, and he called out one of the maids. "Take care of this child," Okonkwo instructed. "In the morning, we will inform the king and find the baby's mother." The maid nodded and took the baby inside, and the warriors left to continue their watch. The next morning, the warriors were found dead, and within minutes, the villagers gathered. The villagers were shocked and couldn't believe their eyes. They were still trying to understand what was happening when two elderly men rushed to the scene from the palace and informed them that even the king, the queen, and the prince are all dead, including the guards and the maids. The villagers were shocked, and fear gripped everyone. The The elders visited the priestess to consult the gods, only to find the priestess dead in her shrine. The elders became more scared and they decided to visit another priestess in the neighboring village. Elders of Obago, the calamity that has fallen upon your village, you brought it upon yourselves. Your tradition of beheading people to bury with your kings when they passed away has brought darkness in your village. Why will a king die and you choose to bury him with 2 heads? Great priestess, it is our tradition passed from our forefathers, and we only do it to give any king that passed away a befitting burial. Is this the cause of our problem? Yes, I can hear the cry of an innocent baby. When your previous king died, your warriors, in their ignorance, beheaded 2 strangers, and one was a pregnant woman. The warriors beheaded her despite her pregnancy, but before she died, she laid a curse. A curse so powerful that no living soul in Obago can escape it. Every single person in your village will die. No matter where they run to, death will find them. Fear gripped the elders, and one of them cleared his throat. Great priestess, we are not aware that a warrior beheaded a pregnant woman, but we are sorry. In fact, we will abolish this wicked tradition. We see now that our tradition of beheading strangers to give our kings a befitting burial has brought only darkness and suffering. Please, tell us how we can break this curse. Our people are dying. Our king is dead. The queen, the prince, our warriors, the guards, the maids. People are dying. Please, help us, great priestess. There is a tree that grew at the exact spot where the pregnant woman was beheaded. I can see the tree, but I cannot locate where the tree is. There is only one way to locate the tree. 7 girls, virgins from your village, must go into the evil forest and wash their face in the sacred river of Mama Nuku. The river is the only river in the evil forest. It is very powerful. When they wash their faces, they will see the tree. They will be able to find the tree. After that, the whole villagers should go to the tree and apologize. The elders of Obago looked at each other in fear. The priestess had spoken, but her words were more serious than they had expected. 7 young girls had to go into the evil forest, a place where nobody dared to go. This forest was full of ghosts and whispers of people who never came back. One of the elders, Amadi, cleared his throat. Great priestess, we will do as you have said. But how do we find these 7 virgins? How do we convince them to go to the evil forest when they know they may never return? The gods do not ask, they command. If you do not find them, your village will perish. The elders left the shrine heavy-hearted, knowing they had little time. When they returned to Obago, they gathered the remaining villagers. People of Obago, we have found the cause of our suffering. The curse was placed upon us because our warriors beheaded a pregnant woman and buried her head with our late king many years ago. Now her spirit cries for vengeance, killing our people each night. The priestess we met has given us a way out. We must send 7 virgins to the evil forest. They must wash their faces in the sacred river of Mama Nuku. It is the only river in the evil forest. When they wash their faces, they will be able to find a tree that grew at the exact spot where the woman was beheaded, and we will all go there and apologize. A sudden silence fell over the villagers. Then a young girl, barely 18, stepped forward. I am a virgin, I will go. One by one, 6 more girls joined her. Some of their mothers cried out in protest, but the girls remained determined. The village elder, Amadi, nodded. You all are brave. May the gods protect you. That evening, the entire villagers stood behind them, praying and watching as they stepped into the evil forest. Moments later, after they had walked very far from the village, they saw some strange people. Fear gripped the girls, but they ignored the strange people and continued their journey. Did you hear that? Yes, we all heard it, but we shouldn't be afraid. Let's keep going until we find the river. The lion saw them and ran after them. When the girls saw the lion approaching, they all ran away, and the lion chased them. It continued chasing them until it caught one of the girls and killed her. The 6 remaining girls continued running. They ran until their legs could no longer carry them. After running for a long time, they took cover and hid. For a moment, none of them spoke. Only the sound of their heavy breathing filled the air. Then, Nena broke the silence. She's gone. Chiamaka is gone. We left her to die. What else could we have done? If we had stayed, the lion would have killed all of us. Uzoamaka, a woman called out. Uzoamaka was surprised to see her mother. Mama, what are you doing here? I brought fruits for you. I know you are hungry. I brought fruits for all of you. Come and take it. Uzoamaka, don't go anywhere. She can never be your mother. I know. Let's live here. Uzoamaka, don't listen to her. Come and take it. They all ignored her and left, and the woman disappeared. The girls continued their journey until they finally found the river. They were very excited when they found the river, and they quickly stepped in and washed their faces with it. As soon as the girls washed their faces, they saw the pregnant woman and the tree. Now we know where the tree is. We must return home and tell our people. Without wasting another moment, they turned and ran as fast as their legs could carry them, their hearts pounding with fear and excitement until they reached their village boundary. As soon as the villagers saw the girls approaching, shouts of joy filled the air. Mothers, fathers, and siblings rushed forward, tears of relief flooding their faces, and they went to the village square. An elder stepped forward and addressed the villagers. People of Obinago, this is a moment of both victory and sorrow. These brave young girls have returned to us. It is really heartbreaking that a lion took one of them, but now is not the time to let sorrow weaken us. The girls have done well. Now they must take us to the tree. The spirit of the pregnant woman must be appeased. The girls nodded and they led the entire villagers to the tree. When they arrived, an elder stepped forward and placed a calabash filled with palm wine, and a goat was tied nearby. Daughter of the earth, we call upon you, a mother who was denied her time, a mother who'd never heard her child. We have come before you, not to challenge you, but to plead. We know you seek justice, but we seek redemption. Now we come to beg for your mercy. We bring this goat and the palm wine as a gift, a token of our sorrow. Please accept it and restore peace in Obinago. He killed the goat and placed the head of the goat by the side of the tree, and they all left. The next morning, the villagers discovered that many people had died in the night. Entire families lay lifeless outside their huts. Families who had gone to bed hoping for peace never woke up. Mothers wept over their children. Husbands held their dead wives tightly. The elders rushed to the neighboring village to inform the priestess of the tragic event that had occurred. Her spirit is still very angry because the man she loves still mourns her. He carries her memory in his heart. Your crime was not only against her, it was against her husband, the man she loved. You must ask the man for forgiveness and bring him to the tree. Only him can soften her heart. His name is Nnamtawosu. He is from Romokrosi. The elders wasted no time. They went back to their village to inform the entire villagers what she had said, and they embarked on a journey to Romokrosi village. It was a long and tiring walk, but they knew they had no choice. If they failed to bring back Nnamtawosu, the curse would remain unbroken and their people would continue to die. After hours of walking under the sun, the elders approached a group of men who were seated under a large mango tree, playing a traditional game of draft. The elders greeted them and asked about Nnamtawosu, and we are told where to find him. The elders thanked them and made their way to Nnamtawosu's compound. As they approached, a middle-aged man came out from his hut. "Greetings, you must be Nnamtawosu. We are the elders of Obinago and we have come to see you. I hope there is no problem." Amadi hesitated before speaking. "There is a problem, and there would be a bigger problem if you don't forgive us. Please, our villagers are dying." "I don't understand what you are talking about. We have come to you because of a great misfortune that has befallen our village, and we have discovered the root of the problem. Years ago, our warriors made a grave mistake. They beheaded your pregnant wife and buried her with our late king." Nnamtawosu became very angry. "My wife? You mean to tell me that after 33 years of pain, 33 years of wondering what happened to my wife, you have finally come to tell me that it was you people who murdered her? She went to the market but never returned. I searched every market, every road. I asked traders, travelers, hunters. Nobody knew where she had gone. She was carrying my child, our first child, after years of childlessness. And now, after all these years, you have the audacity to stand before me and tell me that it was you people who took her life? Are you both mad? Please forgive us. We deeply regret." "Regret? You stand here speaking of regret. My wife was murdered. My child was never born. And your village carried on as if nothing happened. Do you know how many nights I sat awake, wondering if she was still alive somewhere? If she had been taken as a slave? If she had been killed by wild animals? And now you want me to help you?" The elders knelt before him. "Please, Nnamtawosu, our king and his entire family are dead. Our warriors are gone. Our villagers are dying every night. Please forgive us. You are the only one who can appease your wife's spirit. If you did not come with us to appease her spirit, we will all die. Good. Let all of you die. Let your village feel the pain I have felt for 33 years. You took my wife from me. Now let death take all of you. Leave my compound." The elders hesitated, hoping he would change his mind. Nnamtawosu stepped inside his hut and returned with a machete. The elders quickly stood up and hurried away, their hearts heavy. As they walked back towards Obinago, they knew they were returning home without a solution, and that meant doom for their people. As the elders of Obinago returned from Romokrosi, they sent out messengers to summon all the villagers to the village square. The people gathered quickly, their eyes filled with desperation and hoping for good news. People of Obago, we have returned from our journey, but I am afraid our troubles are far from over. We found Nantawosu. For 33 years, he had mourned his wife, not knowing what happened to her. We told him everything. He was very angry and he chased us away. Then, what are we waiting for? If he won't help us, let us drag him here by force. A lot of people have died already. We can't just sit here and wait for death to take us one by one. If he doesn't want to come willingly, we have to force him. We have to kidnap him, because if we don't, more people will die tonight. Who knows who might be the next? No, if we force him, it will only make his anger worse, and the spirit of his wife will punish Obago forever. We must go to him again, but this time, not just the elders. This time, the whole village must go. Every man, woman, and child. Let him see the mothers who have lost their children, the children who have lost their fathers, the elders who have watched their families perish. Perhaps, when he looks into our faces, when he hears our voices pleading as one, he will understand the weight of the suffering. We will go as one people, not to threaten him, but to show him our pain and our sincerity. We will cry before him, we will beg him, and we will not leave until he hears us. That afternoon, the people of Obago, old and young, men and women, even the sick and the weak, set out on the long journey to Rumo Crossing. Hundreds of villagers walked together in silence, their faces filled with sorrow and desperation. When they arrived at Nantawosu's compound, he stepped out. Before he could say a word, the villagers fell to their knees, begging and crying. An elderly woman dragged herself forward. Nantawosu, I am old and I have seen many things, but never have I seen a curse like this. Every night, death walks through our village. Our sons, our daughters, our grandchildren, they die every night, and we do not know who will be the next. We have come to beg you, not as strangers, but as fellow human beings. Have mercy on us, please. A 10-year-old boy moved forward. Please, Nantawosu, my mother is dead. My father is dead. I have no one left. If you don't help us, I will die too. I wanted all of you to die for what you did, but it will not change anything. Even if your entire village perish, my wife will still be gone, and my child will never be born. I will come with you. A cry of relief burst the crowd. Many villagers cried even more, but this time it was in tears of joy. Nantawosu followed them back to Obago, and they showed him the tree. My love, Wanyoma, Achalugo, Obim, it's me, Nanta. I have mourned you for so long. I did not know what happened to you, but now I do. I know you were taken from me unjustly. I know you suffered. I know our child never got to see the world. I never stopped loving you. That is why I couldn't remarry. My love, Obim, I beg you, please let go of your anger. Please forgive them. For a brief moment, nothing happened. Then suddenly, the tree began to shake, and it fell backward. The villagers were shocked and very excited. People hugged one another, crying and rejoicing. The villagers honored Nantawosu, and peace returned to Obago.